The Greek island of Corfu has become the latest area affected by wildfires raging across Greece as its heat wave continues. The Coast Guard says a rescue operation has been taking place on a beach in the northeast of the island, which is popular with foreign tourists. More than 2,000 people have reportedly been taken to safety. Altogether, more than 80 fires are raging across Greece, two-thirds of which started on Sunday, the hottest day of the summer so far. The largest fires are burning on the island of Corfu, as we just saw in the northeastern Peloponnese, on Greece's second biggest island, Ephyra, and on the island of Rhodes, where the wildfires have triggered the biggest evacuation operation in the country's history.
Preparing to leave her family home behind.
My house. We are all together. Our heart is here. Please save us.
As wildfires burn on Rhodes for a sixth day, some islanders insist on fight over flight. But as the fire rages on, leaving may be inevitable.
We are still waiting to see what will happen. We will definitely be among the last to evacuate. There are still elderly people here.
The popular travel destination has become the site of Greece's largest wildfire evacuations on record. The battle against the fire is ongoing, with firefighting helicopters and ground crews pooling efforts.
The Greek police estimate that 19,000 people have been evacuated. It's the largest operation of its kind involving residents and tourists ever carried out in our country.
The flames menaced coastal villages. Tourists staying at beachside resorts say they watched in horror as the thick plumes of smoke drew closer, prompting panicked evacuations to emergency shelters.
We were in the pool at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We could see flames coming over the top of the forest in Rhodes. And then a police car turned up, sirens going, the police jumped out, and they basically shouted at the hotel owner to get everybody out, get everybody evacuated.
At the local airport, countless dream holidays have become hellish nightmares as tourists wait for a way off the island.
DW correspondent Sofia Kleftaki is following developments from the Greek capital, Athens. Sofia, what's the situation on Rhodes this morning?
Good morning from Athens, Terry. Well, due to the fire, Rhodes was declared in a state of emergency. So for the areas affected by the fire, an order has been given by the two operators that the charter flights fly empty to the Rhodes Island to pick up the tourists that want to leave the island and fly back home. While at the airport of Rhodes, a hotspot has been organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs so that there is a rapid processing of the travel documents.
What's the situation elsewhere in Greece? We understand that the island of Corfu is also burning now.
Exactly. Unfortunately, on the island of Corfu, we have a similar situation. So forces of the fire department are making efforts to stop the front of the fire that broke out yesterday afternoon. Firefighters and volunteers continue throughout the night this battle. There's a huge mobilization of volunteers. So we have a very similar situation to Rhodes, and evacuation orders were issued for 12 settlements on the island of Corfu on Sunday evening as the fires are raging out of control. And not just in Corfu, but throughout the country.
I understand there are also a few fires burning just outside the capital, Athens, too. Are Greek authorities confident that they can get all these fires under control?
Well, as large fire fronts still rage uncontrollably throughout the country, it doesn't look like, at least right now, that the situation can be brought under control. At the moment, yesterday, as announced by the fire service, there were 64 new fires with fire services managing 82 in total. So this is a very high number at the moment. Greece is literally on fire. So this is a Greek tragedy.
Sophia, thank you very much for now. And of course, we'll keep monitoring this story. Our correspondent, Sophia Kleftaki, there in Athens.
And we can now talk to Lieutenant Colonel Yannis Artopoios of the Hellenic Fire Services. That's the National Greek Agency for Fire and Rescue Service. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today here on DW News. And let's start with the island of Corfu. Could you give us an update on the situation there?
Yes, of course. First of all, thank you for your invitation. We have an incident happening last night in Corfu, northern Corfu. Because of this fire incidents, we had to send at the immediate time four warning messages through the 112. It's the European for emergencies 3-digit number. And in order to protect and evacuate areas around the northern Corfu fire incident. Hopefully, we had more than 2,461 people evacuating the territories through the sea with the boats that we had there. And most of them, they went through public transportations to safe places. It is a fire that is still going on. It's the only bad thing about this is that we had very strong winds, north winds, that push actually the fire through the forest to territories that might be threatened. So far, no habitant, no people, no residences have been threatened. But as you know, it is a serious incident, and we're trying to put it under control because we don't have to have any threats for people or for the fire, for the forests, or also for the houses, the touristic complexes that there exist there.
Talking about the tourists, I'm sorry for interrupting you there. What advice would you give to tourists who have planned holidays in Greece and are scheduled to arrive in the next couple of days?
I know it is a very big upset for the tourists. We put them under an emergency, let's say, process. But because of the serious fire incidents, the messages had to be sent. We're deeply sorry for the upset that we have caused to them. But first of all, we believe that we must protect human life. First of all, either a tourist or a Greek civilian, our mainest, let's say, idea is that we have to protect most and above all people who live there close to these areas, either tourists, as I told you, or Greek people who exist and live there. It is a, let's say, not an easy process, but because you don't only have to evacuate, but also to evacuate them safely. As you can understand, it is not a very easy procedure. We have to cooperate in the field of operations. At the same time, we have to take the fire away, and also we have to carry them out of this dangerous territory in order to protect them. It's not an easy process.
Just very briefly, you are familiar with previous wildfires. Why is it so difficult this time? Briefly, please.
For the last 15 days here in Greece, we have very, very, very big hits of thermal, let's say, thermal waves, which have reached the temperature around 40 degrees Celsius or more. We've been in this process for more than 13, 14 days now. Every day, the General Secretariat of the Ministry of Climate Crisis and Civil Protection also publishes every day a map, which is called the map of prediction for the forest fires. We have 5 stages in colors. For example, we have green, yellow, the other one is orange. The last one is the red alert. So now we're in the phase of the number 5 category of risk for the forest fires, and this is not an easy situation. It is a very hard situation. We have climate conditions very high. We have high temperatures around 40 degrees Celsius or more, very low humidity, less than 15%, and we have the strong winds. We all know these winds. This time of year here in Greece, we have these northeast winds, which are first during the day are northwest, very strong northwest, and during the night they transform to north or northeast during the whole day. This cocktail, this explosive cocktail, also makes our operations very difficult ones.
Thank you very much, Yannis Artopoios with the Greek Fire Service.
Thank you, sir.